Okay, good morning. Yesterday evening, before going to sleep, we were going through a couple of map and with Dreadisle and Lamra in the voice call, and I was just giving some live feedback. But instead of reiterating those said feedback on a playtest feedback after the playtest game, I'm gonna make a separate video just going over, and maybe this might be useful for whoever you, dear viewer, watching. The maps in question are D Doan by Apex J, D Trapl by Animation Gaming and Servi, and D Emission by Dreadisle. These two maps, D Doan and D Emission, are pretty much like they're very close to be finished, but there's still space, still some space for critique and a lot of aspects that could be like fine tuned to make the whole playing experience that much better, right? Counter-Strike maps are never truly finished, as you could always like reiterate some things, try out like shifting some cover around, and that's that. But that's the map maker's job to at some point really just go like, this is the map, we're gonna play this. Every feedback that or every criticism that's coming the map's way, that's just going to be the quirk of the map. And at some point, gamers just have to understand that and to really like learn the map. I feel like we spend so much time playtesting maps, and we never really get to the point of getting to deepen our understanding of the dynamics in a certain map if the map maker changes a lot of things. That's something that I'm eternally grateful for all the playtesters or all the map makers, who really put themselves, out there, in that they believe in their own design, and that they want to like really fine tune like the smallest little thing. Usually, the devil is in the details. You don't have to change a whole pathway to arrive at that some sort of a conclusion that a map is like okay for a competitive player or whatever. It's usually in the small things, or how you peek an angle, how an angle is set up, how much you're exposed to something else. But I'll try to highlight those examples in the game. So a couple things, couple hinters, so to speak. Pathing intuitiveness, angle planning, composition, and color. I hope that this is the right word. What I mean with composition is like, imagine a photograph. And like classically speaking, an interesting photograph has, when you're looking at a photo, it has interest in the right places to really like make a fulfilling experience from the scene. You can do that exact same thing in Counter-Strike. Color, just very self-explanatory. Angle planning, I see, for example, on the first map, D Doan, yesterday, I saw a couple interesting positions where an actual gameplay angle could have been like really honed in, but the map maker just like kind of didn't take the time to really like plan it out, and now it's just like it feels like an afterthought. And then pathing intuitiveness. Some of these maps, that we play this just have complexity in the space where a very simple path would suffice. Would be better to understand, to navigate yourself first time around. And remember, you're going to play these maps for, if you play it once, a full game is like, it's MR12, so that's like 24 rounds max, and overtime onto that. You're going to be thinking of the same angle. How do I peek? How do I move? Where do I place my crosshair? All the that many times. So if you can make it more intuitive, that you don't really have to think about it, and the map is like helping you in that, then that's just a great map. This is D Doan by Apex J, and it's fairly finished map. I find the pale aesthetic really fitting it. I think it's beautiful in that you have such a, it doesn't require color to really make it stand out, which is very interesting. And all the color is like within these like toned reds. You have some red over there. All the colors just like really pop out. But I think there could be a little bit more of effort put into actually like making these colors a selling point, actually using it into your advantage. For example, here the wall could be split from here till there, and you could have just like a blue stripe with some offshoots coming out of it. Yeah, I think this is a good map to start with because it's super simple, seemingly super simple, and there are a lot of things that the map maker could just like add on that would have a dramatic and great effect within the gameplay side of things. And this is a very good example of a map that has interesting parts to it and has, I'm gonna say, has a misplaced dynamic within it. So what I mean by that I will explain it later, but let's get to the layout. T-spawn over here, we have this D Italy-esque T-spawn instead of the CT spawn here. I always love these like no weapons signs in a Counter-Strike map. We're obviously doing something wrong. Nice pipes. I love this like trimming style with the pipe next to it. The new hotspot textures in CS2 are so powerful. You could have a very complex, like, well, this is a prop from like the Havana from CS Source. But yeah, you could do something like this. Select all the faces and just like press, what is it, Alt H, and it will wrap the texture around the whole thing like very convincingly. Obviously you have to mess around with a little bit, so it's not like perfect. But yeah, it gets the job done when you have to do small things. Like this could be made in editor mesh and could have the same exact effect. All right, let's get to the layout. That was a nice 7-minute intro. Bear with me. Very clean, banana-esque lung over here. Find myself not being able to jump on those. The Inferno-esque wraparound around the chapel. I thought back in the day when I made my map called DE Grace, that was the first map that I've ever played listed on MapINK. And in the early days of MapINK, I had this like same sort of layout with an archway like this, and then you had a faster way to get to the back end from here. Like it was laid out in the same way, but like in a little bit of a smaller scale. I think here the scale might hurt the map a bit, as it also did in mine, and mine was like way smaller. But I like this idea. I just think that it's too much asked for players to, for like T's to really like clear this whole back area out and then use this to your advantage to really take the bomb site. The bomb site is over here. Would there be a way to make the chapel like half of its size? I know it's not going to look as promising and not as realistic probably from scale wise, but it's just going to play that much better if players can like rotate around it. I know like what's going on here? And like post plant positions might be kind of rough if this is a super fast rotate, you know. The terrorist can just like go do. But here then again, like I'm thinking of this being smoked and how fast can you actually utilize this space. You know, you don't necessarily want to make sound. Like if a bomb is planted over here and you make sound over there that you're running away, then this CT might get the hint and actually like just defuse the bomb. Very nice glass. It's a cute texture. We get from this arch. This bomb site is just like that. This simple, and I love it. I love me some simple bomb site. Ancient A and B bomb sites are like, you know, they don't really have the structural integrity that other bomb sites, for example, like Nuke B site has, which the level geometry just like gives you the ability already to position yourself in a very very good way. Like Dust 2 A bomb site, that's like on the same level. I would say that these seasons A and B bomb site are like the peak because they have that like upper heaven element, and I always try to like bring something like that to my bomb sites, and you can just feel that the bomb sites are like missing something when they are like this, you know. But this probably wouldn't play bad. One thing that I'm noticing instantly here is that the arch is getting in the way of the most important angle, so that might be like something, a little bit of an oversight. You can peek it like this, but this is hella awkward. So is this meant to be cover? You might see someone's head over there, so that might be good to fix before the playtest. We have some time. This alleyway, I love. This looks really cool. That's a little tarp reflecting, like smoothing out the light. Very soft shadows. Like you can just see it like here, very sharp shadow, and then here everything is just like smooth. Very beautiful. Makes my brain tickle. Here, this could be more exaggerated. Like you could just push this wall in a little bit more so that you could have a deeper angle on the stairs, and that this would be like, I cannot see this being like a good position to play from now as a CT. You're just gonna get swung from both sides, and there's not much cover. But if it would be like more deep, what would I like? What would I compare this to? Ah, it's I'm losing the thought. Anyway, let's get to CT spawn. I thought that this is a very nice like bend, and I like this angle. This is really cool for holding as a CT. This just basic Z, and I think Counter-Strike map making trend, or like players, sorry, excuse me, map makers don't really find these sorts of angles useful when you're trying to design. Like this is like super powerful, how to make a CT play, like if there's a CT control area here. I said CT way too many times. How to make it powerful. Make a bend like this. You can manipulate the width of positions. You can make this like very predictable so that the player is always peeking you from here, and then make like an alternate position, maybe like a lip that you can stand on over here, so that you can take a further peek, stand on a ledge and peek it like this. You're already behind one corner, so that player has to like peek around the corner, and then there's also this corner that you can like play around, and then you have this. So this is very powerful to, on paper, in theory, to hold. Obviously you have to position yourself in the way that you can utilize the gap between here. You cannot hold an angle like this. You're never going to hit it. A way to make this like this even more powerful from the CT standpoint, like holding from here, would be to turn this angle, it's sharp angle right now, turn it into a round one where this player cannot really utilize the sharp corner here, you know. And also here, just a little criticism. There could be some sort of a darker metal bar, something in the corner that would separate these three colors from each other. Like they're very close to each other right now. Let me take an SG. Like see? Like it's like this. It's kind of close. The lighting is doing a lot. Yeah, maybe adding like some sort. I mean, this is just normal light. Maybe adding an artificial light here, so this room would be yellow. So already, you're differentiating this wall, which would be reflecting a little bit of like yellow color, would be yellow, and a little bit colder, and this is shaded. So that would be already like kind of good balance. I like how clean everything is here. It's a little bit missing. Like you've done a very good job with the trimming. Like everything on the ground is trimmed, so that you know where the ground ends and the wall starts. So that's really good. And all the skyline, like here, it has adequate level of detail. Like I like that. You could be spicing it up with some like AC units at the top. I'm not really sure if these are meant to be like habitable housing or whatever, but that's that. I didn't notice this ladder earlier when I was checking it out. CT spawn is over here. Let's explain the layout. There's also this back path. CT spawn along. They seem to spawn here before I kick the bots. So yeah, a little scenic ocean view. we have this back path angle thing to get into like Tuscan-esque. I love this little hole. Tuscan-esque little walkway to retake B. The layout around B looks really interesting because of that. Like, because of just how this is laid out. CT spawn. Let's get to the middle. CTs apparently get the angle like over here, and they can push over here. And remember where T spawn was? T spawn is over here. And they get to cross to this side like this. My issue with this whole area over here is that terrorists and cities don't really have much to play around. Everything is like very, you know, the color-wise it's very muted, and from gameplay-wise I would say that it's also kind of muted. Like there's this angle and there's this deep angle there, maybe off-angling on top of this, but where do you fall back from? This is a very risky one. So I think this area could benefit from an actual structural gameplay element of like maybe ramping this up so that you can actually like come up into an angle like this. Maybe adding like little, this might be going a little bit too far. Like maybe adding a little bit of a doorway here and then another like pathway or some sort of pillar that you can like play around. Those do give out a lot of like structural integrity to a position, you know? You can just like peek from around. Like imagine here being a pillar, you could peek from here and then have another angle here, and then the off angle wouldn't be that long, it would be here. So stuff like that. But yeah, this is not bad. It might be just like kind of boring. You already might have seen there's some underground funny business going on. Well, we'll get to that. T-spawn to the left, we have A-bomb side, which is the mother of simplicity. Nice sideline, or nice view. We have this lighthouse, and very convincing cliffside. And there's not much to the bomb side. Like I love how simple both of the bomb sides are. Like they're super simple. But I think that might be also kind of boring. My suggestion, again, here's CT spawn, and we can see the pinnacle, the pinpoint of the whole map. That little tower there. I love that everything is so simple. What you could do is split the area here, choke this up way more, so that there's an actual incentive for terrorists to smoke this up. With the smoke, you could make another path, like along the cliffside, that would come up from here, like very Half-Life 2-esque cliffside from that one episode with the lighthouse. Like you could do the same exact thing, and then maybe like a very powerful position here with a box. You know, T's already want to be smoking stuff like that up, and maybe in the backside, so like they can take the whole front yard area, like so. I haven't played this map yet, so I don't know what's the dynamic on the bomb site, but maybe it looks that it looks like it needs like one more strong position, you know. We have, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this thing. Now we were munching on the salad leaves, which salad can be very tasty in some aspects, but I do like a good salad. Okay, let's get to the underground part. So there's a little catacomb area. Straight from A-bomb side, we have this like oval shaped split with a wine barrel structure in the middle. Okay, we're following deeper into the bowels. We have this giraffe room, and this room in particular is very interesting. It's a middle under the middle, and if you control this rotation, this area, you can rotate between both bomb sites in under like 15 seconds, which is really strong. So you have to have a player down here. My suggestion to this area, just based on how it looks and how these sorts of like maps tend to tend to play when you have two like very separate rotational paths. Imagine Nuke if vents didn't exist. What would that be like? You would be rotating to underground from secret and ramp, and you would be just like always like kind of where do I get in? Or imagine vents being in a very far away position, like maybe in back of CT. Yeah, I just don't really see this like this sort of design having that much of a dynamic depth to it. So my suggestion is going a little bit harder on the paint when it comes to the sewer theme here. Maybe opening up this way, like this side, with a vent that you could drop down exactly here or here. Somehow like that you could actually rotate between lower and upper mid. So that would give you an option to actually take mid. If CT smoked this off like here, then you could always fall back into a more interesting position, which wouldn't be that much like under CT control, or rather it would be kind of another way for terrorists to get to this underground middle. I would just want to see how this works from like with that change made to it, because it just sounds so interesting. Pop a vent like a sewer grate and drop into the underground. That would be just like so much nicer in my opinion. Like right now it's just an X under the map. It's not really dynamic, and there's like, you don't have to worry about, like if you have this side as a T and then you have A, you don't have, or like A oval office, you don't really have to worry about getting flanked if you're watching like here. Oh yeah, and there's this. I would even probably like close up maybe this CT entrance like here. This might be going too far. That could be something kind of interesting to think about, like closing up the CT entrance and just like kind of giving this to T's, so that CTs would like go around B to get into this position to cover it, and then they would always have the vent rotation idea in mind. Like you don't really give the T's much with middle, like with the before the choke point. Like they only get here, so why not give them a little bit more advantage in underground and give one more interesting rotation, right? Yeah, I think that's about the structural feedback that I have. The map looks very interesting. I was thinking of color yesterday, and you have a lot of just white, and as I already mentioned, like the color scheme of this map is very muted, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. You can add, like for example, what you did here with the curb being yellow. It pops a lot, but you can immediately notice that the curb being yellow pops in a kind of a distracting way. So maybe adding like a lot of green grass around here, that would already like give you quite a lot of stuff. Also like blending it with doing a little bit of a gradient with like some trash props. Like imagine some cardboard here, like a little bit laying on top of the yellow, and then it would like just kind of transition into this gray through the cardboard. I also love that there's a little tag on the billboard. Nice yellow as well here. In Finland at least, we have lighthouses that are striped white, red, white, red, white, red, and then they also can have some other color. Maybe do that here. That would be just kind of the perfect example of having a very colorful set piece. And also some vines. You have some very nice wait, what? I'll take it back. Those are not very nice vines. Interesting texture. But yeah, maybe adding some growth along it. Some wooden parts maybe, as well with the surrounding like dock area. You could make the cliffside thing to be like a rickety wooden structure, like a little pier. That would be kind of interesting. And then also here's a little feedback. You could cover that up. And obviously here again, like you could quite easily add some stripes of color with splitting the wall in two, or adding some sort of a Tuscany-esque like trim and coloring that. A little note as well from using old models. I wouldn't be touching these like super old models anymore. Like we're in the 4th generation of Counter-Strike, and we're getting to the point of the 2nd generation of Counter-Strike. I think the models are starting to be noticeably old. So yeah, we have better models to use, and also you can also model these sorts of details yourself very easily in the editor now. So why not go ahead and get into that a little bit. The most beautiful part of this map is like definitely like this back area, because it has so much green. Also, in the topic of like color, you could add some colorful tiles, maybe some orange over here. Like imagine the street being orange right now. You have this over here, and then this would be orange, the tiles, and then everything else would be white. That would be such a beautiful balance to have. And also like this kind of fits with this, and you have a little bit like more tone, like warm tones. This could be like all rusted up with the bucket, could be rusted. Wood like the tree color would blend that much nicer in. Yeah, stuff like that. But I love the pale. The paleness of this map really stands out in a very interesting and intriguing way. But yeah, this map looks really interesting. From the get-go, it doesn't look very interesting, but it looks like a solid, fun map to get to uncovering in a playtest and actually playing. And it looks like one of those maps that within a month of work, not even every day, maybe in a month of time, you could finish it and ship it, and that would be like you've already learned so much from working on this map just through iterating on it a little bit, making changes, listening to feedback, thinking of the feedback in your own way, and like trying to implement a blend of the feedback given and your own thoughts into the level. You will learn so much from it. I love this angle. This is a cool angle. Look at this. But yeah, more angle planning like this could be also like more pronounced, where this arch didn't get in the way and you could see like way further up. And here could be some cover that you could actually take up the fight to the angle. That could be something to think about. All right, that's that. And then we have Trapl, which interestingly, this map also has kind of the same like tower thing. I think this tower is going to be a castle, but the thumbnail of the workshop publishing. What am I saying? It looks like these two maps look like the same map. I think we are in a deathmatch setting over here. Oh man. Well, whatever. Apex J. This is Trapl by Animation Gaming and Servi, two French guys who collaborated on a map earlier last year. And I had a couple things to say about the map. So nice watery spawn. I like this. And we have the pier idea here, like a dock, and then we have some spewing water. Very beautiful. And then we have this blocked off sideline with the wall. This is a wingman map, by the way, 2v2 with chickens all over because of the deathmatch. Chicken, what are you doing? He died. Or she died. No, but okay. It has there's one loop over here. And then we have a B long. Sorry, A long. It's a bomb site long. Going to the bomb site. There's an upper area. And one of the things that immediately struck to me was that the bomb site's positioning feels kind of off. Like it's so powerful to be facing the bomb site from this side, and then coming from this side, which you have 2 entrances. This is just, I'm going a little bit too fast. Getting inside of the castle over here, you have a spiral staircase and another staircase over here. This comes from the back of A, the back of the bomb site, like here. But I was thinking of the bomb site, like the composition would probably be a little bit better if it was here instead of it being here, since right now you don't really have to take a choke point to get to the bomb site. And over here there's like 1, 2 choke points to get to the bomb site, and then there's a third one. And here you get to this part, you go around the stairs, which is kind of weird, I have to say. You get to this point, and then there's like hella angles, and then you have to like wrap around. It's kind of kind of awkward that I have to maneuver with the bomb site being over here. So maybe just doing a more classical thing and just having it over here. Just like, to me, this seems very weird. CT spawn. The spawns are not marked, so I don't really know where the CT spawn is, but I'm imagining them being over here. This little cubby. You have this banana into the heaven part. You can also play from here. Yeah, you can play from here. And you can play from here. Another super unintuitive thing in this map. This map is going to have, like, I'm going to criticize it heavily from the structural point of view. The railings are too high, and this sort of an angle where you see over the wall, I wouldn't be able to tell in a million years that there's going to be a player over there, like over the wall. I cannot see the railing like that convincingly that I would realize that there's a player. It doesn't look like a playable space because the level kind of ends here, like that. That's a wall. So I'm going like this. There's a doorway. There could be a player up there. There's a box. There's some cover. There's a spot. That's a wall, right? My crosshair is following like this. That's a wall. That's a little plywood. A box. There could be a position up on the box maybe. A very like a long sightline angle, and then there's a cover there, an entrance, and a corner. So at no point does my crosshair go over this area as like, ooh, that could be a position, right? And the same thing with like these sorts of railings is that I'm going to be seeing the player's head at all times. So you've kind of driven yourself into a corner here where you're kind of relying on blocking of these sightlines and these headshot angles with another headshot angle. I think this is way better because you can always wallbang this. I always prefer this way of blocking headshot angles. But you don't have to have the headshot angles here. You have, like, this back area is not necessary at all. You could block this area over here, and the furthest angle you could get from here is like this, and then from here would be like this, which probably is a headshot angle. Then just make this a little bit smaller. It doesn't have to be this large. The scale of the map is very huge as well. For a wingman map, this is like twice the size necessary. Every area on its own is like twice the size as big as necessary. Here again, like, I want to peak the angle earlier. Like, I'm very close to the corner where I'm peaking the angle, so it's like kind of weird, kind of awkward. So I would just like block this off. And here again, like if I get the bomb down over here, I can just like fuck around with peeking like over here. Oh, peekaboo. And then it's like go a meter back. And then peeking from here. Then peeking from here. This seems to be like such an annoying position to fight just from how it's composed. Yeah. Maybe going like 100% hard on the roof idea, making it slanted. That's a little bit too much of a slant. Slanted like that. A little bit higher, obviously, that there would be like a roof to play up here. Could be a little bit of an interesting thing. I also, like, from structural standpoint, like from inside, you're limiting your natural angles from like being explored with too harsh of sightline blocking. Like this fence, this wall is going to be a nightmare from visual design side. Like it's just like what indoor just has a wall like this in the way, without you having to make like a contemporary, not contemporary, just like a construction wall or something, like a chain link fence indoors. A lot of these maps always, like, when you can't explain something from a natural like building side of things, you tend to go into the like construction side of things, and construction work can always explain a lot of ways to make weird geometry, and that's like kind of Vertigo. Like Vertigo does that a lot. The whole map of Vertigo is explained by, well, it's a construction workplace could look like that, you know. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this being like this. Instead of like planning your maps out in a way that I'm gonna have this here, this idea, and then shoehorning in like adequate gameplay. Try to make the gameplay first. I want to have an angle like from up here, and then that the T's are peeking into like this, and then imagine, like, then think of what you can have, and then start iterating around it. Like I just think that you're kind of hurting yourself with coming up with the structure first and then trying to fit the gameplay around it, which you're going to end up like botching the area like this. You're not really getting like the nice gameplay of someone like holding from up there around a pillar, around like a circular staircase. You're just gonna get like, this is gonna get wall banged and then mollied, and then the gameplay is just not going to happen here. Yeah. Here again, I think a lot of things, like, it's missing quite a lot of the structural integrity from being covered from your ass. I also forgot to mention that in the DE Dalen video, or like part of the video, where the A main, when you get into the lighthouse bomb site, you don't have any cover to cover your ass from CT push from flank. So that it's happening here as well. This is not cover to cover you from CTs pushing there. This cover should be placed in the middle of this, so that you can be covered when you're peeking this angle. Preferably in the way that you can use this back wall to peek this angle, because like that's more powerful. Also that you're peeking on stair, this just feels bad. You know, you have to move your crosshair in a very delicate way to adjust to the change of height. A little point about wingman maps is that I think the reason why wingman maps can use it like a very progressive and free flowing map structure without it like playing horribly. Like you can get away with a lot on wingman maps. And I think the reason is that you have less players to make less of an impact per area. In 5v5 maps, you have 10 players messing around in and 5 per side. So you're gonna have so much more shit going around, and then also there's the aspect of like two team aspects, like two team play aspects going around in one area. So let's say that in a 5v5 area, or like 5v5 map, this would be taken by two CTs. You like, one could throw a molly here, and then one could stay to watch, and then the other guy could just watch this and then have another molly it out, and then this guy could still keep watching this and push close, and then they could have smokes going for 36 seconds here simultaneously, like consecutively. You know, it's like areas have that much more impact. As in Wingman, you have one player per one area generally. So you're not going to have that much of a leeway to mess about within one area. So I think I might be onto something with that sort of view on Wingman maps. Here again, like you have a nice little quote-unquote power zone, like control zone or whatever, where it gives you 2 entrances to the bomb site, but you don't really, like, if you imagine this courtyard being separate from the bomb site, then that does work. But I'm thinking of like, if you change the bomb site, then this composition has to change as well. Maybe actually this could be like more of the control zone where you get like an oversight of the bomb site. But yeah, I would definitely, like right now the bomb site looks like just you have truck, box, wall, box, box. It's not really tied to an area or like a structure in the map. So maybe try and make some sort of like a cathedral, like a little chapel or something, and tie the bomb site around that. You're just going to find yourself just dabbling with boxes on in a room if you don't make a structure for yourself in the bomb site to really like set it apart from the rest of the map. Inferno B bomb site, you have a fountain, and the back side, you know, that bomb site like ties itself into it. On A side, you have that like whole backside arch again, like, and then you have a couple of boxes like that. That's a kind of a bad example. Overpass is more of a thing on B side. You know, you have that central pillar, and it's very minimalistic with that like sort of platform type of wooden construction thing. Sure, I had to yawn. And again, the construction work going a long way with explaining like weird geometry. You wouldn't necessarily see that sort of thing happening in a sewage place like that. But yeah, there's construction going on, so that can explain everything as it might here. All right, that's, and I don't really know from actually like giving structural feedback. The tower is nice. It looks quite odd. It looks like a wizard's hat. Maybe look at reference, figure it out. It might be also like a little bit too tall for the rest of the map. And maybe having some like height difference within the buildings. Like you have a lot of very same height buildings, and the players like interest in the level geometry just kind of gets lost among the mundaneness of the rest of the map. Yeah, I think that's it. But from color wise, I can't really tell. Also, I don't like this skybox. It's very low res. It's a default skybox. Already by changing that, you would get a nice ambient. And I like that the Lamrat had a good point where the foam kind of gives you a feeling of where you cannot go. And here, coming here, you know, you see the foam like, I'm probably not supposed to be there. Oh, here as well. I almost forgot. Here is a good example of something that, to my mind at least, seems obvious that you should be able to do. Players will already be like kind of trying to come up here and like boost up to see around this corner. So why not just go ahead, remove this whole thing, maybe from the corner, like keep it over here so that there's like some actual cover to progress. But yeah, from like this side, it would be so cool to have like this back area open so that terrorists could set up a sniper over here to watch this whole B long. And think about where can you take some map space away. I just think that the map is like a little bit too large. CT spawn definitely doesn't need to be this large. It could be just like this banana. Half of its size ending up in this room. Yeah. Alright, that's been DE. What was it? I forgot. Trapl. Okay. Then we have the Emission by Dreadisle. Definitely the most fleshed out map. Jesus Christ. That was a strong yawn. Let's kick the butts. Okay, guys, let's go. The Emission in Santa Fe. Very reminiscent. Nice color of the light already. Complemented that. straight to Dreadal's face. I said that, hey, you did a good job with the color of the light of the sunlight. This map is very busy from indoor detail wise, but it's nice. Like you have a lot of detail, but it's not the most complex map, so you can get away with that. But I still want to be fair and say that there's a lot of stuff happening when you're just like trying to peek into these angles. Oh, some things that I forgot to say yesterday is that like this view is very nice and all, but maybe placing this white board wall along the line that you're actually like peeking into the sideline there. Like a player can get very easily lost when you have all the pews down there. Also, a little bit of a point from using like the Dust 2 doors. These are from CS:GO, but still, like they're CS Source-esque era. Then yeah, these are just like outdated. I wouldn't touch those with a 10-foot pole. Maybe with a 10-foot pole, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. Very good use of color, like it's super colorful, very realistic to the location, and nice use of the flowers as well. I like these explaining where everything is, but you don't really have the time to start looking at these. Oh, we also have the map name. Baja Muertos Mission Church. Historical. Conquistador Graveyard. Okay. We have these work in progress cacti here. Really set the mood for the map. I think Dreadal was a little bit embarrassed to show those off, but you know, they work. Come on, they work. I just love this like very down to earth housing, right? Is that a good word to describe it? Probably. A little bit broken over there. I gave so much feedback yesterday already that I'm just going to reiterate a couple things. The map is like kind of huge, but it's very simplistic, and it's like kind of like Dust 2. There's like one part here. This is very beautiful. Again, I just have to reiterate. And also the complexity on the ceiling just could be toned down a little bit. And this window could be broken or like closed. This doesn't look like a spot that you should be able to like see through. If you look at the radar, there's like a very obvious long path to get into what is like Dust 2 tunnels. And then you have B main to get into B site, right? This could be toned down a little bit and made a little bit shorter, so that players don't have to travel that long of a time when they rotate. It's probably better, like it's probably pretty good to have that corridor be that long, just from terrorist pushing side of things. Like terrorists can be in CT spawn very quickly if they just like push this, and if this was any shorter. But then again, it is very choked up, and players have to be like kind of weary of all these angles. And you can take cover behind these and just like fight over there. But yeah, I think that's just like one of those things that just seems a little bit off in my opinion. When it comes to moment-to-moment gameplay, I found that like these sorts of like deep angles are a little bit hard, and also you can like place yourself in a very imaginative way where you're not really, you cannot be cleared. That's what I'm saying. Maybe with a, yeah, I guess a molly. But then again, there's like that back position. There's a position behind here. You have to be saving a molly for this pit. You have to be saving a molly for that. You have to be saving a molly for a backside. You know, stuff like that. So it's a 3 Molotov bomb site already. You don't really have skylights to throw any early smokes in. And the building is very tall, so you cannot necessarily... I know that there's a way to smoke these off from, you know, with lineups. But yeah, I would want to be able to do that from inside here. You know, throw some util. And maybe giving like a more definite, nicer time for the terrorists so that they can like actually, without peeking the site too much. I think, well, actually, I think this mound, this building here is like making a nice risk-free zone where I don't have to worry about any cities like playing in front of this, like here, right? Because they're going to be kind of fucked. So utilizing this, maybe you could give a little bit more shape, like making this slanted part a little bit nicer, so that I can actually, without me peeking, I could use it convincingly to smoke up this. Small stuff. There was a huge sightline over crossing the CT spawn, which is very Dust 2-esque, reminiscent. I think removing this door, you could fix it so that players are like coming from here or coming from here, so there's like no obstructions. Indoors, I think this area is very busy. There could be a way of like removing this dark red spot and blocking this side off completely, like here, so that you could just like drop down like this. There's a little floaty bit. I think this area is also kind of busy. I kind of like it. It's like a very complex short in Dust 2. And I'm going to be comparing it to that map, because this map and Dust 2 are very close. Yeah. And you get into, instead of getting into above A bomb site on A site on Dust 2, you're going to be getting into this like another like short type of lip thing, just having a nicer angle into A bomb site. A bomb site is very reduced, very in the out of the way, in the back of sight. And it's oh, you can shoot that. It's very much back in the back of the map, the corner of the map. And the gameplay is probably a little bit reflective of that as well. It's kind of funny how like these locations of the bomb site, like sometimes like reflect the gameplay, like very accurately. As in here, like just from the way of movement, you're pushing to the furthest point of the map, in the corner of the map, and then on the bomb site you're also pushing to the corner of the bomb site, into the corners of the bomb site, right? Yeah, I don't really have any criticism on the bomb site necessarily. Looks nice with these indoor bits, and this angle looks kind of cool. You can have like crossing firefight. There's a little Heisenberg over there. These could be blocked off. Yeah, with something. And this could be also blocked off. These sorts of corners are just like too gay, you know? These lights are cool. I gave the feedback yesterday that they are very distracting over here. In T-spawn they work, because they're just like, it's a shaded area. Lamright had a good point. These are in the light that it freaks too much out. Nice vent detail. Nice wooden beam detail. This building, Squidward building, we already went over. Gelateria. Yeah, good use of the texture here. I think this is from like Dust 2. Yeah. I think that's going to be it for this video. I've spent 53 minutes looking at your guys' maps. I'll definitely be doing this again. This is not the first time of me doing this sort of video. I've done it in the past a couple times, but those weren't that popular. I think it's just the structure of the video is like very it's a big video to be skimming through for like little tidbits of feedback. Just if it's kind of more personal to the map maker, whatever, like, you know. So you don't, as a viewer, you don't really need this feedback per se. This is very beautiful. Crazy. Okay, yeah, that's it. Nice tile. Yeah, and we'll be playlisting these all these maps later today. So if you see this video tomorrow, we have already played these maps, but we'll probably do reruns of the playlists. The maps are in development, and they will probably be playlisted a bunch of time before they are like quote unquote finished or whatever. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Take care.